All right, so I think it's pretty fair to say that most people have a pretty complicated relationship with government. Um, this body that exists for the sole purpose of facilitating basically all of society in some way. And as a political theory student, I find myself continuously conflicted about how I see the role of government. Here's this immensely powerful entity with a huge potential to do good, yet I find myself asking how, year after year, this collective body can continuously find itself, regardless of regardless of partisan affiliation, can still be so continuously misguided. This may be a tad bit reductive for the situation, but I think a lot of the political issues in our society can be traced back to the human tendency to keep talking when we don't actually know what we're talking about. It's this dedication and human tendency to assert our own competence that in fact actualizes our own incompetence. However, I do think with a certain level of conviction and dedication, one can learn to have a deep understanding of at least one small facet of our society. Over the summer, with the semester fast approaching, I had one initial fear going into my internship. My fear was that JPNDC would embody this savior mentality or fall victim to this dynamic. As I started my internship, I quickly found out that I couldn't have been more wrong. JPNDC is an extremely unique place because it knows what it's good at and it sticks to it. It's an extraordinarily focused organization with an unparalleled understanding of the community that it serves. Now, currently, JPNDC is taking over management of a property that's currently managed by the Boston Housing Authority down in Jackson Square. And we've been involved with the community for many years now, and one of the biggest concerns voiced to us is in regards to crime, safety, and security. So later on, a parcel of land across the street from this development goes up for bid, and we eventually hope to acquire it to help build affordable housing in this rapidly gentrifying neighborhood. Long story short, we ended up losing the bid to another NDC that had the intention of building a large ice skating complex instead. And needless to say, this was kind of disappointing for us because of our original mission and what we hoped to do with the land. But later we found out that the mayor was going to be donating $2 million to this project from an excess fund. Well, this had been relatively set in stone for a while. This other NDC and the mayor's office were going to be hosting an event to kind of commemorate the donation. Keep in mind that this was several weeks before the mayoral election, so it was going to be treated as a significant PR event. And while we weren't so enthusiastic about it, we had a specific role in the community that necessitated our own participation. So, about a half an hour before this event was to kick off, we get a call and find out that a 16-year-old and well-known social fixture of the community just across the street had been shot and killed by a stray bullet. This event was indicative of an issue that the city has been largely ignoring for several decades now. On one side of the street, there was a kid that should have been alive, a grieving mother, an ambulance, and a heartbroken community. And on the other, balloons, cameras, festivities, and the mayor's PR event. And while the lack of tactfulness in the mayor's office in toning down the festivities certainly marked a lack of respect for the community, the physical divide of Columbus Ave marked the vast differences between the experiences and understandings of the mayor's office and the working class Jackson Square community. Following these events, I witnessed some tension between JPNDC and the mayor's office. And this was actually kind of a surprise for me. I was under the impression that we had to maintain as pristine of a relationship as we could with the government in order to fulfill our mission. So this event and the subsequent reaction around the office helped remind me why I originally started to involve myself in politics. You can't hope to see an institution like government succeed unless you become a pain in its ass every single time it steps out of line. And while every party, mayor and mayor's office included, had the best intentions for this community in mind, intention does not equal outcome. So I had a similar struggle going on within me. Going through my fellowship, I ended up learning to better understand my own perceptual limitations. I have the tendency to at least pretend like I have all the answers, and realistically, nobody does. Anyone who says they have all the answers is either a fool or trying to sell you something. But being so new to this environment with such little knowledge of the JP community forced me into a place where I had to speak less and listen more. And in learning the importance of and in doing this and in being pushed into this place where everything was so unfamiliar for me, I learned to embrace my own incompetence, because incompetence is the first step to growing. Thank you.